Okay, so our first learn together, let me just give you the overview and then I'll walk you through how to actually do the steps. So, how that got in there. Anyway, what you're going to do is you're going to move now to your public repo inside of our organization, and you'll create a folder, and this is all local, and then you're going to find a photo of you and then copy it into that directory. Then you'll update your GitHub and your Canvas profile with this picture. Then you'll do the add commit and then place that up on GitHub, and then I'll show you how to embed it here in this reply. And then you'll run the code from the end of section 2, the hello world.js file, and take a print screen of your output and do the workflow there on that file and embed it like you're going to do your photo. I'll show you this, and then write 2 paragraphs covering an introduction to yourself and why you're here or anything else you want us to know, and then tell us about your experience of doing the code up and all the instruction in addition to what he provided that I provided. So just any, if you didn't run into any issues and everything's cool, if you did, maybe what those were, and everybody has their own unique experience here. Okay, so I'm going to move over to my editor. And I have actually it setting where we were at the end of the code up. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to close the editor. Okay, and now I could start the editor up again, right? And then open the folder that I want. And like I showed you before, you can also do that from the command line. I want to show you this again just because you can do it whichever way. So now that I'm in VS Code, I could open up my terminal, right? Oh no, I can't do it this way. My bad. Actually, if I'm in my terminal versus my VS Code terminal, 2 different things. So here I just open up a folder, and I'd go now to that public and hit open. And now I have, I hit the wrong one. File, open folder, open. Sorry, I should have opened the public one, and I opened up the private one. So let me open up the public. So in here there's no files yet, right? So this is the stuff that we're sharing. So it's really important that you're switching between the 2 repos when I'm asking you to provide images that you're going to share with everyone. So, but we're going to do a similar thing here where we actually do new folder, and then we will do IMJ because that's the name of the folder I wanted you to put. And so images, right? So now you're going to go find a photo of you, right? So this can often be the more challenging part. And for me, I went to Google Photos and I found a photo of me, and I went ahead and downloaded it. So I had it locally, okay? But one thing I noticed as I was doing this, so first I downloaded, that was the thing, and then I went to go update my profile pictures, and I'm like, yeah, but before I do that I need to place it in my repo. The process as far as sequence is probably not as important as you know that when you download, especially for me, and depending on where you're getting your file from, and let me just show this. Let me go ahead and download that photo. That photo is, because of my camera, rather large, right? That image is about 1.5 meg. The reason this becomes an issue is that I notice on GitHub, and this is what I want you to update your profile. Let me go ahead and move over to the student one so you can see that up here in your profile. When you edit your profile, and I think it's good to add a bio, right? More on your public side. But when you upload the file, this is the first, and notice here you can see the difference. This is the one I just did, and this is the one after I modified it. And so it was in 1.8 megabytes, and then it was 80 kilobytes, right? And because most photos on your camera are high resolution, and GitHub, and I believe this is similarly true for Canvas, wants a smaller file. Okay, so what I did is I first downloaded it and then I modified the image resolution, and let me just show you, and you can use whichever editor you want. I'm just going to show you an online one just to do that. So again, this is the one that I need to modify because it needs to be a meg or less in order to get it uploaded into here. As a matter of fact, notice that as soon as I tried to, I must have clicked on the other one. So even in Firefox, whatever browser you use, and just go to pixlr.com, pixlr.com, and then here just scroll down to say open the editor that's online. Don't get the app. Oh, I have to run Adobe. You do have to run Adobe. I was using this on my Chrome a minute ago. I didn't have that because I've already done it. Open from the computer. I'm going to go to downloads for where it was for me, and just to show you, here's this larger one, right? And I'm going to go ahead and say got it here, and man, they get more ads since the last time I used this. Again, use whatever you want. Image size, look how large this is. Like I'd make this like a 640 by a 480. That's kind of a nicer size. And then what you do is file, I think it's file, save, right? And then what I would do here is I would actually name it Rio_pic, or just pick, whatever. Hit OK. And now it's putting it in there. Now, by the way, here is actually a step I could have actually, this is another way to do it, is actually just to navigate to my repo, right? So navigate to my repo. Oh, now, again, if you're using a different file system, yours will look different here, but if you want, you can navigate here. I'm going to go into that public. I'm going to go into the images, and then I'm just going to save it there. Okay, so that's and I'm going to leave this because I no longer need it. So let me just show you what happened in my editor when I did that. I actually have a green now in here, right? And that's because I've added a file that hasn't been staged and done all that too. So we'll do that in a minute, just FYI, okay? So, so now that you have that local, what you can do in your GitHub, apologize for not bringing up the right one, now upload a file. And now you can actually either select that one that if you downloaded it back here, or navigate to that directory, right? Your public one, your images, and then I'll put that up there. So now I'll know the difference between the two, and you can kind of do that, and I'll just set that as my profile. Boom, that's good. Again, fill out some of this other stuff. I'll update it. Now let me also show you how to update your Canvas one. In Canvas, if you haven't already, come over to your account, click on your profile, and then in here, if you move your mouse over here, it'll give you the edit, and you can choose a picture. And again, the same process. I would go because I want to find that modified one. I'm not going to do it because I like the photo I have there, but just to show you, public one, images, boom, there we go. Okay, so that's how you would do that one as well. So once you get those two done, then back here, let me go back here to our course just so I can come back and show you. So that's part of the work, is just getting those two first put into your public repo and modified to be a little bit smaller. I'm not going to specify an image, but just you need it under a meg, so you get to determine that. Okay, so now actually what I'm going to do is we can go ahead and place this up, and we're going to do a print screen as well. So maybe what I'll do is go ahead and do the print screen, and then we can come back and do, because the process you're going to do to place these into the reply are the same. So I think we'll just do them together. Okay, so we'll have them out there. So now what you want to do is open up, you already have your editor open. Oh, that's right. Ah, very good. So now I'm thinking about the two different processes and this is okay. In the beginning, it's okay to move back and forth. It's good experience. So what I could do in VS Code here, because the reason I'm saying this is I need to move back to the private one. Okay, so I'm going to close. I could close the folder here, and then I could open up. And what's kind of cool here, I shouldn't have those open actually. Let me actually just close that. Because in here you have more recent, and you can just open them from here. So I could just open up my private one. Okay, and now from here I want you to just go ahead and run that code, right? So node, oh, am I in the right directory? All right, I am not, so I gotta navigate. Oh, I should have done that little trick, but that's okay. ls basic, there we go, and node, hello world.js. Okay, so from here, and we might do this, just go ahead, and by the way, if you up arrow, it'll actually cycle you through the last commands. There we go. So now what you want to do is take a print screen. Now the question is, do you know how for your operating system to take a print screen, right? For Windows, it's a snipping tool. So before we do it, let me just show you, right? So Windows print screen, pretty short. Typically we use, oh yeah, they're going to show you the built-in snipping tool. There is the old-fashioned way of doing it, right? So it actually shows you the different ways. So for Mac, right? So Mac print screen. So for Mac, Control Shift, I use 4 for the whole thing. Oh, 3 lets you do a select. All right, takes the, oh that's right, 4 does selective, 3 does the whole thing. And here's what I mean by that. So I'll actually do it on my Mac just to show you. Okay. So now I'm going to do Control Shift 4, and on my Mac I can select then, and I want you to do that. Just select the editor. So we, and in my ear I just heard the print screen image go off. Again, if you're in Windows, you will use the snipping tool. Most likely, boom, right there, and then you just take that. Now I don't have the code, but it's just the idea, right? And you want to take that whole print screen of your editor, right? And then again, if you're on Windows, make sure you're running that code, okay? So I'm not going to save it here. I'm just showing you that for purposes of that. Okay, so now, ooh, get out of here. Close this, minimize that for a minute. All right, so now I've taken that print screen. So now what I want you to do is now, for me, my print screens on my Mac go to my desktop. Matter of fact, let me just show you that on my file manager. So on my desktop, what I will see is that print screen that I just took right here, right? So what I need to do, and this is, we're kind of showing this both ways. You don't have to reset this image. Oh, that's not the right one. That's the right one right there. I can tell by that. You don't have to resize this image, but what I want you to do is actually rename it, right? So I'm going to right click and then just hit rename, and I'm going to call it week 2 print screen. That's too long. Let's do week 2 for now. Okay, and that file is a.png. Right, so good. So I'll just call it something simple. So now what I want to do is actually place that code up into my VS code, right? Into my public one, right? So I'm going to go ahead and switch back, and I'm going to show you another way to place images into your code, because this will be something later you might want to know. And I'll move back to the public. And now what I can do, I'm in this directory. I believe this will work fine. Let's give it a try. Is I should be able to just take this PNG and copy it right into here, and there we go. So now we've added both images into here, and I'm going to just go ahead and close that out, right, because these are 2. So now that we have these 2 images, now we need to do the process of doing the add, right? So I think this time I'm going to show you the other way, which is, I'm just going to give you a little heads up here, is that you really should make sure you're very comfortable using Git in the command line before you start using it in the editor. And the reason is you may be in an interview and somebody wants you to run Git commands, and if you're not solid on doing Git add star, right? And then doing Git commit, right? -m, like I showed you last time, if you're not solid on those things, it may be something that would work against you, right? But you know, they're building these into the editor now, making it much nicer. So anyway, in this case, to do the add, all I'd have to do is move from looking at the files here to clicking on the third icon down, which is the GitHub integration. And so all I have to do here is add. I'm going to stage these, add, and so that's doing the git add file, git add command specifically on that file. And now they're staged, right? And so now what we could do is actually commit them, right? So let's do a commit. So the message would be adding files for week 2, learn together. Okay, and now I do boom. So that's the equivalent of my git commit, and then here I'm going to just do a push, right? And then that pushes the files into that public directory. Okay, so now that we've done all that, now we're actually going to teach you how to actually place these things into Canvas, and not by adding the files, but referencing the files. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let me move over to here, go back to my, I guess I'll leave that there. Okay, go back to my repo, and so I want to go back here into my 8093, and now into my public, and then images, right? Cool, so I see those two files, and again, the process is going to be the same to place them, so I'll just show you. So click on the first one, that's the image, and come over here and hit copy path. Okay, cool. Now, to do this in Canvas, what you want to do is to put that image of you. You're going to come over here to Embed Image, and in here you paste in that URL. Oh, very good. You have to add one really important thing, that it does not https://, right? And I'll say picture of me. You don't have to do the dimensions, but that should work, and then we're going to update it. So let's see if I got that right. Oh, was that one more? Let's see. I think there was a step there. Oh, very good. So once I did that, it actually is in HTML, and I'm noticing it's broke right there. So actually what I needed to add there, I forgot about that piece. Let's see if that actually take it back to the editor. HTTP 93 Rio Public. That should have worked. Okay, let me go check real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm glad that happened, so that you don't run into that. So let me back up here and show you. Actually, I was wrong. So apologize if that messed you up. But in your post here, when you do your embed image, before you click on this, I'm going to show you how to get the right URL to reference your photo. And again, this is working, and this is only showing to people inside of our organization, not to everyone on the web. So we have to find a little different URL. So this time what you want to do is right click, view the image. And when you do that, notice it says raw GitHub user content. It's a long URL, but it represents your the URL that we need for it to work inside of Canvas. So copy that, and then in Canvas, what you want to do is embed the image and then paste that one. So, and here would be picture of me. Okay, picture of Rio actually be a better one. Describe, yeah, this is for accessibility. So HTML, hopefully you have some experience knowing what the alt text is, but if not, that's for screen readers and really other purposes. But we'll go ahead and do this update. So that works, right? So that's your photo. So then what I want you to do is do some writing here. And you can do this in whatever order. Again, I'm not going to writing about yourself. Okay, and now we're going to go grab that other image. So we're going to do the actual print screen. So now go back to here, go back to your images, week 2. Okay, and in here again, right click, view image. And that's where you get the right URL. So in here, we do the same thing. We embed the image, we copy it. My VS Code running week, running section 2, code. Something shorter would be fine. Now notice how big this one is, right? Because this is how big my screen was. So I didn't modify it, but I probably should have. Update that. But notice it actually let's go ahead and see what happens when I go ahead and hit done here. Okay, does it? Yeah, okay, so it and that makes sense. So what happens is when the web rendering here, based on the way Canvas is set up, it actually didn't make it so large, it modified that size a little bit. So then once you do that, if you do what I just did, what I hit post, and then you can come back in and hit edit, and then you would write underneath your image here, right? And again, do it however you want, write about your experience. So done there. Right, so those are the two things that I want you to have for this one. I do say write a paragraph. I don't specify word count, right? But decent word count would probably be about 100 words here. At least, what, 3 or 4 good sentences to do that. So that's what you need to do for this first Learn Together. Thanks for hanging there and with me. I know it took a little bit. We had to divert there because of the steps that I did. And again, if you don't know how to take print screens, go find out how to do that. Find images of yourself. Use an online editor or one of your own that you need, but I did show you how to move back and forth between each of the repos because we have 2 for this class, and we're using the public one this time because when we're sharing images that everyone in the class needs to be able to see, that's how we do it. And then I'll fix this little thing here and then add the video. So thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.